Comrade Officer. Dear Alexander Vasilyevich, dear comrades, today, at the annual board of the Federal Security Service, you will have to discuss a wide range of professional issues, identify priorities for the future. I would like to note that all the tasks set last year were generally solved at a high level, and the concrete results of your activities show that the FSB is a strong, reliable, and effective link in the system of ensuring national security. Your specialized units acted promptly and competently, defended the sovereignty and national interests of Russia, the rights of our citizens, reliably protected the constitutional system, fought terrorism and extremism, crime, conducted complex counterintelligence operations. I want to thank you, dear Comrade Thing, all the personnel of the FSB of Russia, for their professionalism, determination, and dedication. Special words of gratitude to those who, during a special military operation, acted behind enemy lines, on the line of contact. In difficult conditions, he defended the safety of our people in the Donetsk and Lugansk People's Republics, in the Zaporozhye and Kherson regions. We are proud of the valor of the FS border units, which took the blow of superior enemy armed formations in the border areas. The exploits of the fallen FS officers, border guards, special forces soldiers, and other units, who gave their lives for the motherland, but did not flinch and did not retreat, will forever remain in our hearts. I ask you to honor the memory of our comrades with a minute of silence. Thank you. Dear participants of the meeting, you see, we all see how rapidly the world is changing, the situation in the world. In this regard, I would like to note that the first contacts with the new American administration inspire certain hopes. There is a countermood to work for the restoration of interstate relations, but gradual solutions to the colossal volume of accumulated systemic strategic problems in the world architecture. And it was these problems that provoked both Ukrainian and other regional crises at the time. It is important that our current partners demonstrate pragmatism, a real view of things, abandon many stereotypes, so-called rules, and messianic ideological clichés of their predecessors, which, in fact, led to the crisis of the entire system of international relations. And, as a matter of fact, we can see that the Western community itself has also begun to collapse from within. This is evidenced by the problems in the economy of many Western countries and in domestic politics. We all see this, and it is especially evident in the course of domestic political events in these countries. Today's dynamic changes in the international landscape are largely the result of the courage and resilience of our armed forces, our heroes. It was they who, with their valor, their daily victories, created the conditions for the beginning of a serious dialogue. Dialogue about the fundamental solution of both the Ukrainian and other crises, including, of course, we always talk about it. We have never given up on it peacefully. About the creation of such a system that will really ensure balance and mutual consideration of interests. Systems of indivisible European and global security, and for the long term, when the security of some cannot be ensured, at the expense or to the detriment of the security of others. And it's definitely not at our expense, not at the expense of Russia. We understand that not everyone is satisfied with the resumption of Russian-American contacts. Some of the Western elites are still determined to maintain instability in the world, and these forces will try to disrupt or compromise the dialogue that has begun. We see this with you. We need to take this into account and use all the possibilities of diplomacy and special services to thwart such attempts. And most importantly, as before, it is important for us to firmly protect our national interests, sovereignty, life and freedom of our citizens from any threats. In this regard, the FSB needs to continue systematic work in all relevant areas. And first of all, it is, of course, the fight against international terrorism. I would like to note that over the past year, the number of terrorist crimes has increased, and more than half of them are planned and organized by Ukrainian special services and curators. The FSB, other agencies and law enforcement agencies, with the coordination of the National Anti-Terrorist Committee, should make the most effective use of available forces and means. Pay special attention to preventive measures, improving the anti-terrorist protection of military and industrial facilities, life support systems, public facilities, as well as energy and transport infrastructure. Work should also be continued to strengthen the anti-terrorist potential of the FSB unit in the regions of Donbass and Novorossiya. I would like to emphasize that these units are doing a lot today to neutralize terrorist and sabotage groups, to collect intelligence about the enemy. Serious additional measures should be taken to protect the state border. It is necessary to further increase the density of the border cover in potentially dangerous areas. In cooperation with army units, units of the Rosgvardia and the Ministry of Internal Affairs, local authorities to ensure the safety of people in border settlements. It is necessary to fight extremism and terrorism resolutely and aggressively, to stop any attempts to divide and split our society, to pit representatives of different nationalities and religions against each other. We are well aware that this is one of the lines of attacks on Russia, on our multinational, multi-confessional state. Responsible tasks are facing the counterintelligence agencies. Regular reports show that the activity of foreign intelligence services has increased during the special military operation. The level of their technical equipment has increased, which means that it is necessary to seriously strengthen the counterintelligence cover of military and strategic information related to state and military administration, the creation of the latest weapons, and simply advanced technologies in other industries. But I would like to draw your attention to the fact that with regard to civilian development technologies, we need to do this not in a formulaic way, but calmly, competently, intelligently, so that the achievements of our scientists do not fall into safes under the neck, but are quickly introduced into production, used both in our market and in increasing our high-tech exports. We have talked about this. Many of you have probably seen it, including at the recent forum on the development of chemistry and the industry of new materials. At the same time, of course, we must protect our innovations from theft and unfair use by our competitors. Dear colleagues, traditionally an important area of your work is ensuring economic security. I have said it many times, and I want to repeat it again today. The protection of the legitimate rights of domestic business, the fight against crimes in the financial and banking spheres is one of the foundations of the competitiveness of our national jurisdiction. A favorable investment climate in Russia. This is extremely important. Anti-corruption efforts should be carried out more actively. The implementation of state defense orders and national projects, the promotion of long-term federal and regional programs, should be in the field of your constant attention. I would also like to note that with the development of digital technologies, the number of cyber attacks on the domestic information infrastructure is growing, including on official state websites, resources and services of state corporations and departments. Moreover, such crimes are systemic, multidimensional, multivector in nature. That is, they cause damage to the state, business, and citizens. to increase the security of the domestic information infrastructure, to look for new methods of neutralizing cyber threats, is the task of your department as well. Dear colleagues, in May of this year, we will celebrate the 80th anniversary of the Great Victory, and during the celebrations, congratulating our veterans frontline soldiers, of course, we will gratefully remember the heroes of the domestic special services, intelligence officers, special officers, SMERSH fighters, border guards, who made a truly invaluable contribution to the defeat of Nazism, and their accomplices, Bandera, ON, all kinds of traitors, collaborators of all stripes. Modern history also knows many examples of the true valor and self-sacrifice of our fighters, our comrades. I am convinced that the current generation of defenders of the motherland, including FSB officers, will sacredly preserve the traditions of their predecessors, those who defended the interests of the fatherland during the Russian Empire, during the Soviet era, and in modern Russia, and protected the security of our country and our people. Dear comrades, I wish you success and thank you for your attention. Thank you.